The morning air was crisp, but the odor of the lilacs filled the yard. Running out the door of the farmhouse, the boy made his way to the bushes. Ah, the smell. Ah, the purple. How he loved the purple then. How he hated the purple now. He hated it. The boy practically danced in the bushes, in his world of make-believe, in the hollowed-out fortress of lilac bush walls and fortifications. The old man, hated the purple. Damn it, he exclaimed. Damn it, why now? But of course there was no now. There was no then. And that was the most damnable part. It wasn't the blade sticking out of his chest, the sharpened metal setting his blood free from his flesh. The purple was the most damnable thing because it had stolen. It had stolen away the then and the now, the was, the is. Here, as the boy ran through the lilac bushes and the blade rested in the old man's chest, it was stealing away the ending. Somewhere in time, he preached and prayed. Some when he was cuddling a beagle. Some then he passed himself coming and going in a drunken and paranoid stupor. Then he was sober. Then there was the blade again, as if there had always been the blade and always would be. Cold steel, they call it. How many times in the old man's past had he used that phrase? How often had he written it in mediocre fiction, in feeble attempts to sound poetic? Cold steel. It wasn't cold at all. Its temperature wicking nature being cool to the touch, it's how men imagined it. Sticking into his chest, the old man marveled at how quickly it had become warm. Engulfed by his bleeding flesh, perhaps. An illusion generated by shock? Maybe. But cold steel was warm and almost comfortable. But for the gash it left on the shards of his bone, he found it comforting. Then there was the purple, the damnable purple, the accursed purple. Trespassing, he protested. I haven't been to the farm since we moved 1985. The police wanted to believe him. Look, we know you like to drink. They didn't need to finish the statement. The implication was obvious. How could he tell them the truth? He didn't like to drink. He hadn't liked to drink for a long time. He had to drink. He didn't fully understand that himself. You've had a couple DUIs. Maybe you stopped by and don't remember. The owners are mostly just creeped out. They want resolution. He was forced to be honest. I don't know. There was a sudden glow of purple around him. It was around everything. The officers didn't seem to note it. Is it your handwriting? She asked. I guess that's a silly question for chiseled graffiti. He nodded and shrugged. Does it ring any bells? Sort of. He leaned near the large rock in the center of the old lilac bush. I put my name and some dates on here when I was a kid. He examined the mystery which plagued the new owners. Some of the dates were more recent. Some others were in the future. January 9th, he mumbled, 2009, sobriety. Good to know, he chuckled. No one else cared. For a moment, the smell of the lilacs took him back, and the purple. He always loved the purple. He was in jail. She was incredulous. The whole weekend? The officer affirmed. But I saw him. He was all raggedy and... It had to have been someone else, the officer insisted. Her thumb began moving on her cell phone screen. She turned it as soon as the picture popped up. But that date is... I guess that's a silly question for chiseled graffiti. He nodded, confused. You already said that. The single thrust was so powerful it punctured his chest. Finally, he thought, something which hasn't happened before, or had it. Out the door he ran into the crisp morning air before stopping dead in his tracks. I'm here again? Then the purple. Each time the purple light, the purple glow, the lovely, beloved, damnable, and accursed purple light. Trespassing, he protested. I haven't been to the farm since. He stopped cold. 2 minutes ago. It's okay, the doctor assured the assistant. He volunteered for this, so he fractured. Big deal. The assistant looked concerned. Mentally or temporally? The doctor chuckled. Somewhere he preached and prayed. Some when he was cuddling a beagle. Some then he was married. Somehow he was divorced. Somewhere his mother rocked him. Some then his father threw him a ball. Someplace his surgical scar ached across his chest. In some eternal echo, he gagged on a cigarette and threw it down. Each time the purple, each time again and again, over and over, he was trapped. The intruder had come to steal, the sort of filth which would rob an old man. I've never been robbed before, the old man whispered to himself as he grabbed the kitchen knife. This is new. His fear was almost completely replaced with the joy of seeing something unrepeated. A moment in time which he had never lived before. The confrontation and the consummation. Right at the top, mid-stride on the staircase, the old man got the knife in just under the intruder's rib cage, even as the muscular assailant plunged a dagger in the old man's chest. They stared into each other's eyes to watch one another die. The race was on. Who would win? Who would know? Who but them would care? The old man twisted his knife upward into the heart and tissue of the intruder. The intruder clung tightly to his own weapon. The salt and iron of his own blood was sweet for the old man. Now ready to end the story, finally. Honestly, life had been good. It had been fruitful. It had been worth it. His only real regret was being trapped in the perpetual echo of the purple light, doing everything again and again. Finally, as the intruder died and slumped off the knife and down the stairs, the old man slumped down and sighed. Cold steel, warm steel. Still stuck in his warm flesh, he felt relief. Then the purple glow. No, 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 he yelled with as much force as he had left. Let me go. The old man hated the purple. Damn that purple. Why now? But of course there was no now. There was no then. The morning air was crisp. The odor of the lilacs filled the yard. Running out of the door of the farmhouse, the boy made his way to the bushes. Oh, the smell. Ah, the purple. How he loved the purple. Then the rush and sensation. He remembered. Just a moment ago, a lifetime away, he is an old man. The boy chiseled on the stone. Maybe, he thought, just maybe, if I record one last date. The boy chiseled, and across decades of time, the purple glow returned again. The old man slumped and was overwhelmed by the need to sleep. He was overwhelmed by the fall and tumble down the staircase, the need to sleep, and the taste of the salt and the warm iron.